Hey guys, my name is Hashim Mohammed and welcome to this Hack Project tutorial. In this video, we'll be building a web application where our users can create and send out physical posts to their friends and family using your digital service. So what kind of services, what kind of post are we talking about? So it could have like an image and some message like happy birthday or happy wedding anniversary or something like that. And the way that it's going to work is that instead of walking up to a physical store and like choosing from a bunch of greeting cards, taking that and then giving it to the post or to the courier, and then ensuring that that post reaches the right person or not, instead of going through all of this process, what you're going to do as a business is create a website and ask people to just enter all the information they want to, and also see for themselves on the screen what the end result or the post would look like, and you would just print that out in the best format possible and then ship that out to your to the recipient that they want to send them out to. So that's what this whole project is about. So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to use something called bubble.io. So you can use any no-code tool for that matter. Bubble is ideal for creating web applications, like for websites. But you can also try using Glide if you want to do for mobile only. However, because there are going to be certain advanced features that you can add to extend this project, Bubble is kind of user friendly for that. But by no means are you restricted to use only Bubble. You can also use other tools. Now, I'm going to move a little fast here in this video, so if you're not used with Bubble, I have a beginner's guide on Skillshare for you, so go check that out and then come back here if this is your first time with Bubble. Anyways, look, with that said, let's get started with this tutorial. So first thing I'm gonna do is go to bubble.io or log into your account and create a new app. Just there's a button straight up. I think the first time you do, you'll be asked to go through some basic tutorials, and once you finish that, come back over here. You want to name this app. Actually, this project is not really that complicated, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna call it some. I'm gonna give it some random names. So I'm gonna call it like a post ladder or something like that. Uh, oh, I can't really have spaces. Um, so by default for free, though you now just like I said, post hyphen letter. If I publish this app, you can access this web application by going to post-letter.bubbleapps.io. So that's how you will be able to do that, and that's why we have it. Just when we start, we have an assistant. We just click on start from blank assistant. If you notice from the last bunch of tutorials, Bubble has actually changed quite a lot. I like to first change the name to a little more user friendly, to a little more reader friendly. Like the hyphen stuff is only for the domain stuff. Anyways, so you want to give it some standard theme here. Now you can obviously change all of this later, but yeah, I just want to show you guys two plugins that might be useful for you. Now I'm located in Sweden, although technically my banks should be supporting. At the moment, my bank does not support Stripe. Now this is what is the most popular option on Bubble, and I guess by stretch to a lot with a lot of people. A lot of people use Stripe for payments. If you're using Stripe, just install it. Now there are a bunch of tutorials on how to integrate Stripe into your Bubble application, and it has native support on Bubble platform. So Bubble really encourages for you to use Stripe, but since it's really not support with my bank, I don't have any other option. I'm gonna use something called PayPal. Now, you also want to remember that there are a bunch of PayPal plugins here, but I'm not gonna use any of these actually, because they're kind of complicated for what it could be really simple. I mean, at least for what I'm doing, it's okay. So I don't really need to have recurring subscriptions, because the kind of people who come to my service are going to be people who just get like submitted their submitted their message and everything, and then they expect me to like contact them with regards to tracking number and all that, and then that's all. So once they get the letter, I think they'll come back later to submit a new order, but I don't think they need to pay recurring services. They don't really have to subscribe to anything really, so I don't really need any of that. Um, but I do want to mention something else here. It's called Print Pro, and it's by this famous guy called Zero Code. Yeah, I've personally worked with these guys, but yeah. Anyways, Print Pro allows you to sort of print specific parts in the web page. Now, let's say that what we're going to do is we're going to preview the result or the post on our website. So if you want to allow the user to sort of print that their creation out, you can do that by installing this Print Pro, but it's not free. That's why I'm not doing it here. But it's an optional thing. You can still go ahead, but it's gonna print on a standard paper that they have on a printer. So if you want to do that, you can do it. Yeah, I don't think I need anything else. So let's close this up now. I'm not going to like enter. I'm not going to like go through all the selling part of it, the information part of it. So this web application will have three sort of main parts, or sort of, yeah, I should say two main pages. Apologies, I'm kind of sick at the moment. So yeah, so there's going to be two main pages here. So the first part is where you'll be selling the web application itself. What the business is about. You can add your FAQ, how much your service costs, and you can describe what you're doing, the business, about yourself, how the process works, and how you can trust them, what's the payment methods, and all that stuff. That's the stuff I'm not doing in this video. I'm only looking at the technical part of it, or the business application part of it. So just so you guys know, you need to make sure before you publish this application, reserve one page about explaining what this thing does, or at least like give some space to sort of plan your web app, the whole selling part of it as well. You want to explain to users what the business is about. So I'm gonna do it for post letters, but if you guys have the capacity, you can do it for other creative products like mugs or t-shirts or anything like that. You want to allow users to do so, you can do that. But I'm gonna do post just because it's, maybe I could say it's easy, and it's because maybe it's a lot more useful, I would say. So I'm gonna add a group here. So in the home page, I want to have two parts. The first part is where the user is gonna create the actual message and describe the basic information about the sender and the recipient and what the message is about. And then in the next step is about paying for that order, and also giving me some information about how I can reach out to them for tracking number and stuff like that. So if they finish these two processes, that's it. The order is complete, and I'll ship out the post to them. So there are going to be two parts. The first is a group here, but when I just unselect this group here, you can't really tell where this element is. So I want to give it some border here so that I can have some bounds here. I'm going to go click on edit style, and I'm going to use the same kind of group everywhere, so I can just play with the settings. I'm going to click on solid, so I can get this preview over here. It's too thick, so I'm going to reduce it down to 1. So here we go. Now I'm going to add one more group there, which is where it's going to preview the actual post. Maybe you want to make it a little bigger, like this, yeah. And I want to add a text here, and that says preview, so he knows what this part is. So, and I'm gonna make this body small light, and there you go. Now okay, so now that we have this, now I'm not really sure about what is the appropriate sizing for it, so I'm just keeping it this way. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bunch of input boxes where they're going to tell me first. And again, I don't really like this font here, which is like the weird classic monospace font or something like that. So I'm going to change that later, but for now, let's give it something like heading of your message. And then you want to talk maybe about the multi-line input, which is your detailed message. So I'm going to talk about, say, body of your message. You can frame it however you want. All right. I'm going to pull this down by selecting and pressing the Shift key, and I'm going to add a picture uploader, so they can add a photo of whoever there is. Or added how many pictures? Sorry, how many picture uploaders did I add? Alright, that we have there, and let's make this look a little better. Okay, so I just added, I think, infinite number of picture uploaders. I want to just go delete all of them. Alright, I just deleted all of them. Let me go to now. This is not all the information I need. This is all the information I need to put it on the post box. I mean, to put it on the main message thing. But I also need, I mean, whatever he types here that dynamically will be updated here, but I also need to know who the person is. So I want to know, let's duplicate this by selecting Command D or Control D if you're on Windows. So to say recipient of this message. So recipient's name. So who are you sending this message to? And sender's name. So that's going to be sender's name. And obviously the sender's address. Do you want to take this down here or the next page? You can take it on the next page because we obviously need the second page as well. But okay, let's put this over here too. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this, and let's add a search box here, and I'll tell you guys why in a minute. It's because, okay, now we can of course add the address bar, like you can ask the user to give it the was that first address field, second address field, and they can type in the whole thing. You can do that. Or what I like to do is I like to sort of link it with Google Maps. Like you can say geographic places, and what this will do is if you start typing in, let's say, Gothenburg, it would search on Google Maps and it would start suggesting places. So it's a lot faster, I would say. So if your place is located on Google Maps or something, they can do that. So they can say sender's address, sender's location maybe, because when I say address, there's people who start typing in the whole address. So you don't really have to. So it says sender's location. They want to say next step, right? So I say next step. Alright, so now we got to go here. So this is all we need from the first page. This is all the information we need. Now let's go ahead and frame the letter here. So first part is the heading, and we also have again, I just duplicated it. You can also do it like this. There's a duplicate. Sorry. You can also yeah, it's basically, you can right click and also say duplicate. There should be an option here. Or you can just say Control or Command plus D, okay? And then the body of the message, and then you have the heading, which is not really like a heading at this moment, so I'm just saying that to heading. And then I'm going to put this here. All right, so over there, maybe extend the bounds of the body message. You want to say maybe shrink the text if element gets shorter, and do you want to recognize links in emails? Not really. Don't do that because you can't really click on anything on physical posts, so it doesn't really make sense. So if they're gonna type in some email address, yeah. All right. So we have the heading and body. We also need to show the picture. So don't put a picture uploader here. You want to put in a image, and I'm gonna keep the size as 200 by 200, or maybe 180 by 180. And then I'm gonna put this like this, right? Alright, I'm also gonna say from whom the message is coming. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna put this right here. Maybe you can also put a combo box and say what is the like the end greeting, you want to say thank you or regards or with regards or loving you, whatever you want, you can allow the user to sort of type that end greeting message, so you can update that here. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in the name of that person is, so that's going to be the sender's name is going to appear over here, right? Maybe not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's okay. You can change that to however you want to. So maybe you want to print that over here, right? Put it over here. So this is how the whole thing is gonna look. But I'm gonna replace this by whatever is the message that he's gonna type over here. So I'm going to insert dynamic data, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say input heading of the message value, the body of the message. I'm going to say insert dynamic data, multi-line input, body of your message value, sender's name is from that field. So sender's name value, and then you want to go to the picture box. It's dynamic message, the dynamic image. Say picture uploader R's value or picture uploader A's value, whatever it is. Just preview that and see which value is that. So now if you preview this, if you're typing here, whatever your photo you upload here, it should start over here. Now, all of this is just to show you what the end result will look like. But now I need to save them all onto my database so I can look at all of my customers' orders. I do need to add another page where people can now start to pay me. But before I do just that, I'm going to use PayPal, by the way, for people to pay me. If you have any other payment methods, you can sort of take inspiration from this and sort of like try to do something similar with whatever payment gateway you want to integrate it with. So I think PayPal supports a lot of countries, so that's why I'm going to use PayPal. Now, if Stripe is supported, I would highly recommend you to go check out Stripe because there's native support and there's a lot of extra good features that work really well with Bubble. So if it works with you, please go ahead and check out Stripe. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to data tab here. I want to save that information to my database, so I'm going to save that as an order because that's an order that someone is going to purchase. So I need all this information and save them onto the database. So the things that I want to save is the sender's name, which is a text, and I also want to say recipient's name, and that's going to be text, recipient's location, which is where the location is. That's going to be geographic address, create. And I also want to save maybe now if it's geographic address. Now the fun thing is you can use this information to sort of even plot this on Google Maps and check out where this location is exactly. Okay, so also you want to save the heading of the message. All right, so that's going to be on the back end, so you're going to save all this information on the database. Also want to type in the body of the message. This is really not going to be visible for the user, so don't worry about it. You can structure it however you want to. And also the picture. You can, and by the way, I'm only going to do one site because that's my whole product. Is I'm only going to print them one site. It's a lot affordable as well. So it's going to be for I guess someone already does this business for like $5 or so. So it's a lot cheaper here for one site. If you want to do two sites, maybe you can charge a little more. It's not that difficult. All you have to do is make use of this conditions tab, and then you can make two different groups and sort of hide one group when you select the front and back. And you can also do the same thing over here. So for the front you have a different message, and for the back you can maybe have you can upload your logo or your company name or your family, something like photo symbol or something like that. Okay, so you can also allow people to like select templates. That's also possible. I've already done that. I've talked about a few things about conditions in Bubble. On my Skillshare course. So if you want to check out conditions, learn about them, and try to implement them over here. Alright, so I'm going to go to field name here again. I still think I have not covered all the information here. I also want to save in the recipient's email because I want to also keep in touch with who the the recipient. I also want to get the sender's email because I need to tell him, okay, your order has been confirmed. and we're sending out to them, this is what the status of your order is, and thank you for this is the main thing that I'm going to use to get in touch with my customer. So this sender email is the main thing. Now that's exactly what is substituting the need for signing and signing up. I mean, sorry, yeah, signing in and signing up, because well, I don't want in 2019. It's not really the most fun thing to do, so I like to avoid it as much as I can. I mean, to ask user to sign in and sign up. So I mean, this is not the kind of service someone is going to use every day, but one of the advantages that you'll have if you ask the user to sign in and sign up is that you can actually display all of their orders, and they can actually edit their message and sort of and even track where their process is. Because if Bubble can find out where your order is, then you can obviously tell if the like what's the status of their order. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is their PayPal's email. Now you wanna this is completely optional, but the only reason I'm doing this is because well um so the way I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just give them a link to pay me, and I'm gonna use something called PayPal link generator to generate my link. And if you don't know, on PayPal, the main way of payments is through their email address. Now, if you're not using PayPal, this is completely optional. Like you don't have to do this. But if you're using PayPal, this is what I'm gonna do. It's really like so. This is just the main way how people identify each other on PayPal. So you need to enter your email address. And by the way, this is not really my PayPal email, so don't send money to this address, please. Um, and you want to select the currency, whatever is the currency that you have there, and what is the amount, and what is this payment for. And you want to say link text, which is really not that important. Click on generate links. Now you want to copy this, okay? Copy to just your clipboard. You may need that later. What you're gonna do is every time the user is gonna pay you, okay, you're gonna know their email address on your PayPal transactions, okay, the people who paid you. Now, you can compare that email address with the email addresses that they submit. So what I'm gonna do is when I'm going to ask the user to pay, I'm gonna ask them to enter their PayPal email. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I will be able to compare that from my database with my PayPal's information that way. So yeah, I've not really set up all the fields here. That's because I'm going to reserve all the remaining fields for the next step, which is I'm going to create another page here. And before I do that, okay, let's go. Oh yeah, before we do that, let's create a new page here. And it's going to be final process. You can name it whatever you want to, or say oops, what did I do? So I say purchase, click on create. Alright, so I'm gonna give it some step 1 and step 2. So step 1, so I want to know the sender's, so I already have the sender's name and the sender's email. Do I do that? Yeah, I have the sender's name, sender's location. So I have the recipe's name. I want to know, okay, well, tell me your email address so I can get in touch with you on what the order is. Alright, so that's enough. And we'll do step 2. And you're gonna get the PayPal email here. And alright, so when I get that, and you're gonna allow user to pay them by putting a link here, because a link, the differentiation between a link and a button is that when you click on user link, the link will open up a new tab, and I don't want the user to get lost in this whole process because I need to keep them in touch. So I'm going to keep them over here. Say pay with PayPal. Say external URL and paste that and say open a new tab. Alright, so once I do that, I'm going to say complete um, complete order or something like that. Okay, so when I do that, I want to not create a new thing. I want to say make changes to a thing. And before I do that, I think I need to do the type of the content is order. I need to go back to this step here because I need to save all this information first. So let's do that. Let's create a new order, and I'm going to say the heading of the message, body of the message. I'm going to select a picture because PayPal's email is not really present in this page. So recipient's email, recipient's location, recipient's name. Sender's email is not really in this page. Sender's name is in this page. So heading of the message will be here. Body of the message will be here. Picture over here. Recipient's email. Oh, really don't have the recipient's email here. Okay, I'm gonna delete that. Um, so I'm gonna save that I'm gonna ask that in the next page. Recipient's name is the page here. I mean this field. Sender's name here. Recipient's location is in search box value, and I want to say recent relevant inputs so that those fields are kind of fresh the next time I come to that page or sort of refresh that page. So I also want to go to the next page, and that page is purchase. And the data to send is the result of step 1. Okay, I want to go to the purchase here, and now I'm going to continue my process of like I'm going to get all these fields here. I want to save the remaining parts. I'm saying make changes to a thing. I'm going to say current page order. That order that we finished in this page, this next step, this order is taken to this page here, where I'm going to now say, okay, I'm gonna save the remaining fields, which is well, this is going to be your email here. This is going to be recipient's email here. So that's that. So let's click on complete order. I'm gonna say recipient's email, sender's email, and maybe PayPal. Did I not see that? Yeah, PayPal's email. So recipient's email is going to be recipient's email. Sender's email is your email, so that's going to be that. I don't know if I saved this already, but it's okay. And then say PayPal's email is going to be PayPal email. So I can save all this information in an order, and then I can just get done with it. So say once this is done, I'm going to reset all the relevant inputs, and then I'm going to show a pop-up that says order submitted or something. I don't know, order placed maybe. And I'm going to put that in the header center 3 light. Okay. And I'm going to give them a button to sort of close this. So close. So that's going to allow the user to sort of close this pop-up. I should hide this pop-up here. Alright, I want to show this pop-up when he clicks on this button. So I want to show this pop-up only when there's no errors. So this button will not be clickable if you make these fields should not be empty. This becomes mandatory. So all of these, this can be empty. Okay. So with that, let's go to index field. Let's make all these fields mandatory. So I say this is, you should type this. So This are all sender's name. So I didn't really get any email address here, as you can see. So in the next step, I do all that, go to purchase, and I show the pop-up. Should be good to go. But before we do that, let's check it out. I'm not gonna upload an image for now. Let's instead of just say happy birthday, say hey, don't. I wish you have a birthday yet. Okay, I'm gonna say my name. Well, hold on a second. That's the recipient's name. So, and so I'm gonna type in his thing there, the address of this person. So it could be something like Centrum in the address should just pop up here. Yeah, there you go. Actually, this is working. But let's use this one. And it's not really allowing me to go ahead. So because I think this should not be empty. Alright, so let's make this to like at 100 results. Okay, and let's preview this again. And I like, okay, happy birthday. Yeah, now this is just a sample order, so it's okay. And then the location. There you go. I think I'm gonna choose this. Say next step. Okay, that's saved. Now let's go here and give my address here. I mean, I shared that email on creatorschool.com and my email address. I'm sorry, my recipient's email. So it's gonna type in, I don't know, whatever his email address is. Not really important, but it's okay. This is mandatory. Now when he pays this, he's gonna enter all his information again. So when he does that, and you click on complete order, the order is placed. Now when you get the order, you're gonna compare that. If you want to see all the submissions, go to app data, go to all orders, and you'll find your submission here, and you can check out all this information here. And as you can see here, this is all the information we submitted, and when this order was placed, and where this person is placed. And as you can see here, this recipient location is not working, so I guess we need to replace that with standard address field. So I'm really sorry about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and choose recipient's address. So that has to be address. So let's do that. And let's go to the next step here. Let's create a new order and say recipient's location should be recipient's address. Okay, now it should work. Alright, but I'm not going to do that again. But I'm going to add one important information here, is that when you're going to publish this, you're going to do click on this. Now when you're tracking all the orders, you want to go to the live mode, because that's where the information is, and you want to check your orders over here, not all users but all orders. That's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you guys in another video very soon.